everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cape Rugby TV, where we take a look at what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Before we get started, as you can see behind me there now, Score energy drinks, of course, on board with Cape Rugby TV and Western Province Club Rugby. We're waiting to see what's going to happen with the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens this year. We'll talk about that still in the next couple of weeks. Of course, Decro Paints. You can see Decro behind me. Decro on board with Cape Rugby TV. We'll show you a little Decro video a little bit later. And of course, MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. In studio with me, Jerome Parvar. Jerome, nice to have you back. What a weekend.
Yeah, great weekend, JP. And I think now we know who's the champs. So well done to those clubs. I think it was good rugby, and I'm actually also glad the weather also played its part, and most of the games was dry, so the guys could play, people could watch good rugby, so that was great.
Yeah, so you talk about the weather. I must say, I have not been that cold. I haven't been that cold in a long time. Sitting there on the side of the field, the wind at City Park, I think at about 11 o'clock it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
But by the time we got to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, there was proper wind blowing. And I mean, we spoke about this last week, that the wind was going to be a big factor. Do you think it was?
Yeah, I think, I mean, most of the clubs, I said, if guys ask me before the game, like, what do you think? So I said, look, in this weather, if you win the toss and you play against the wind, you're definitely going to win the game, because second half you're going to play with the wind. If you manage to play in the right field areas, you're going to win the game. So if you win the toss, you win the game. But
isn't it also a question of, like we've spoken about this, this playing with the wind. We've spoken about this a few times. If you, for example, look at UCT and the Green Mile, you look at Goodwood, there are some fields that are windy fields, and some of the guys who know those fields, they will say that it can play in your favor because it forces you to keep the ball in hand.
Yeah, like it forces you to keep the ball in hand, but also the opposition, they know you're not going to run, so it forces them to jack up their defense.
Oh, right.
You understand? So
yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Yeah,
so I think coaches are clever now. They know. They're going to kick you there, you can't kick, or they're going to force you to give a bad kick. It's their ball, they're going to move, they're going to score. So the defense play also a part, like, so it can go both ways. So it is better to play with the wind the second half.
Well, it was a great day of rugby. I mean, we'll talk more about this, of course, folks. We'll run through the champions, the various champion from the day. Of course, Super League A, B, and C was played at City Park on the weekend. We'll give you the results in a second. We're also going to take a look at some of the highlights of the games today. We've, of course, got Hamediahs, who was playing against Stel. What a fantastic game. And we're going to take a look at the Franschhoek versus Hands and Hearts game. And, of course, Hamediahs were up against Helderberg in the final. But let's take a look now at the first half, and we'll show you then some of the other results. Or at least Hamediahs up against Stel. Right, there we go. Okay, so, of course, Van Stel and Hamediahs there, Jerome. Let's go to that game now. Van Stel, of course, at least Hamediahs leading there in the first half. How much do you think for the fan factor? I mean, we've spoken a lot about the fan factor in our barometer in this year, and the fan factor playing a big role. City Park is not far from Hamediahs' home ground. Van Stel got to travel. And even though City Park is a neutral ground, Hamediahs had all their fans there. That was the big thing. How much of a difference do you think the fan factor made on Saturday?
No, look, it makes a huge difference. As you say, it is in the favor of Ahmadiyas with all their people coming there. And if you look at the stand, all the people in white, that's basically the Hamediahs supporters. And you see Van der Stel supporters. Look, they also have a big crowd, but obviously it's closer for the Ahmadiyas people to get there. And it's like if you watch the World Cup, you talk about fan factor. The European teams obviously have advantage because it's in Europe. So if you watch Ireland Springboks, the whole Irish community were there. If you watch France playing there, the whole, so it plays a role. If you just look at that, so it definitely played a role.
Yeah. But in addition to the fan factor, do you think that the weather conditions, the sort of the local landscape, the knowledge of City Park, do you think that has a factor? Or is it it's equal for both sides?
Look, I think it's equal because remember what some teams, it's the third time that they play this season that they play there at City Park. So they know, and everybody knows City Park. Even on a good day, the wind
has it got to that point now where City Park is the neutral venue? It's you come to City Park, everybody's practiced there, everybody's played there. That's where you guys do your testing. Is that it? City Park is now considered a central neutral venue?
Yeah, look, I think one reason for that is, like I say, because of the 3 fields that they have. They use one field as a warm-up field. The other field, if there's more teams, they play on the B field, they play on the A field. You can watch, basically, like we said, you can watch both A field and B field. You can watch rugby. So I'd say in that regards, it's a great venue to play in that wind, in that conditions. But it's like neutral, so everybody have a chance to play against the wind. Everybody has a chance to play with the wind.
Yeah. All right, folks. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at that second half there between Hamediahs and Van der Stel. We've still got a couple more highlights for you on the cards today. So make sure that you don't go away. It's very exciting. And of course, big thanks to SuperSport Schools, who were streaming on the day for providing us with the footage. We'll be back after the break. Don't go away.